welcome our new guest who is Mr. Faisal Sheikh. He is here with us and he is basically a business entrepreneur. Welcome, Mr. Faisal. Welcome to 87.6 FM.
Thank you, Mr. Khalid. It's a pleasure to be here.
First of all, I would like to let me first introduce about Mr. Faisal and tell our listeners that who is he. Faisal was graduated from USA in business administration, and then he had been doing his business in Abu Dhabi and Dubai for almost more than 25 years, and then he decided to leave Dubai and come back to Pakistan because he sees Pakistan as a very vibrant economy, despite of all the negative propaganda happening on social media and on other international news agencies. We see entrepreneurs like Faisal who have left their businesses in other countries and have come to Pakistan to do business. So today we are going to ask him that what prompted him to come to Pakistan and how does he sees business in Pakistan. So Mr. Faisal, before we go to the professional part of the your life's journey, so please tell us about your education background and what were you doing in Dubai?
Okay, so I actually grew up in UAE. I was living in Abu Dhabi. My father was a doctor. And from there on, I went to study in the US. I was studying in California State University. And I did my master's in MIS. And I worked with Nestle USA, which is the largest food services company in the world. And I was working there as a programmer analyst until 2005. I decided to move back to UAE where I came from. I had taken good experience working there, and I decided to use that experience in this part of the world. So I lived in UAE from 2005 to 2016, and I, Alhamdulillah, by the grace of God and with a lot of effort, I made really good money. So there was a time when people and friends from Pakistan, they would call me up and they say, you know what, you need to tell us how did you do it. And so I used to tell them, but telling them from another city or another country is not as easy. Then one of my very close friends, like one of my best friends, he came all the way to UAE and he said, you know what, do you want to move to Pakistan? And I said, to do what? And he said, there is so much potential there. And people don't know how to make money. I just want to tell you one thing, Mr. Khalid, that I made all this money from zero.
Very good, very good. We would like to ask you that so many of our young listeners who want to leave Pakistan and go to the other countries, for them, I think it will be a good motivational lecture and a good opportunity to know that we have people like Faisal and many, many more thousands of people who are coming back to Pakistan and starting their own business in Pakistan. So, how do you see the Pakistani market? What kind of business are you doing in Pakistan?
So, first of all, my business is real estate. I'm into property and we buy and sell properties, and we're also doing construction.
Okay.
And we have been very successful since we came here. But the main thing, that the driving force was how to make the people of Pakistan rich. Because I see a lot of poverty, a lot of very, very talented people around us, but they don't have a right path. So if you allow me, I'm going to take you back to when I started working in the US. So the first thing that I saw, that people in their masters or in their bachelors, they have a complete knowledge of their career path. Like, for example, somebody wants to join the United Nations. They not only have a target of joining the United Nations, they have some mentor who is at a high post, and they know how he got there. So you have to kind of have a career path decided that, okay, I'm going to get into the United Nations, and but I'm going to follow up and I'm going to reach this target. I think that is more important. That is missing from our people, our side of the world. People just have a smaller target of reaching a destination. What are they going to do there is the problem.
So how do you, generally in Pakistan, young people are earning like 40,000 or 45,000 or 50,000 rupees a month. They're doing jobs. So what is your advice for them in 35 or 50,000 rupees? So how will they invest? What will they eat? How should they be managing the money?
Okay, yeah. The financial system that everybody should understand is missing from Pakistan. This is a very important question. I'll just tell you one thing that Bill Gates once said that if you were born poor, that's not a problem. But if you are still poor, that's a problem. So basically, what he's trying to say is that if you don't know how to manage your way up into the system, then that's your problem. That's not the problem of the person or the work environment that you're born into, right? It's only that you need to focus on what's your job. First of all, I just want to add one more thing that when I came to Pakistan, at least I have trained 5,000 people, and over 500 of them are making ₹1 million a month. And that is my target. My target and my motivation is that I tell everyone that you can do it. You are the best at your job. Do not think yourself any lower than anybody else. So I kind of tune their brains to start accepting that they can do it. If I can do it, they can do it.
So it's all about aptitude. So what is your opinion that what is the age group? Either it is at 15 years or at 20 years. At what age group basically once a youngster, a girl or a boy should be deciding his or her future path?
Okay, so I'll give you two examples because I think that these are very important examples. One is, and these are celebrities and so one of them is Nazia Hassan and one of them is Michael Jackson. They were already superstars by the age of 20. So that means that they started building up whatever they wanted to do by the age of probably 12 or 9, you know. So that means that you have the aptitude. God has given you the aptitude to develop yourself into something, and you have the most energy in this age. You know, with your age, when you're 30, when you're 40, your energy levels are going down. You have more experience, but your energy, and you're not afraid to take chances. When you're in the 30s, 40s, you're afraid to take chances. When you're in your teens, you're not afraid to take chances. So I want to tell my audience today that if you are a 13-year-old, 15-year-old, 18-year-old, do not think that you're too young. This is your age to do an experiment and become somebody that people will start following.
So again, coming back to the young entrepreneurs, we see in Pakistan a lot of people they start business and after 2 or 3 years the business get flops, or sometimes it goes for next 2 to 3 or 4 years, but then after that either they get fed up of the business, or the business
Right.
is not. We have seen a lot of startups coming up, and especially somebody opening up innovative naan shop, or somebody
Yeah.
opening up some shawarma shop, or
True.
making small restaurants,
Yeah.
but we find them ending up because they can't manage the finances and other things. So how do you what would be your advice for these small startups?
Okay, so it's a very good question, and it's very much applicable to our topic, right? So first of all, I want to tell you that I have failed in a restaurant business. You were just talking about a naan shop. So I have failed in a restaurant business, and I have failed in many businesses. And the one thing that I want to say that you fail, you try again. You fail, you try again, because that's the only way you will succeed. If you're scared of being a failure, or people will laugh at me, or what will they say, you will never succeed. So be ready to fail. It's okay if you fail. So I failed many times, but the experience that I gained from that failures made me a better person, made me a better product, and eventually I succeeded. So now coming to the question number two, which is like how a non-shop or any other small venture
Should succeed.
should succeed, right? So
Sustainability.
sustainability, right? So basically, what I think is that I would suggest that you must have the experience. If you're going to start your own business, you must work somewhere before doing the same thing. So even if it's a non-shop, right? So you must have worked in some kind of a restaurant business. That's important. Number two is that if you open up, you need to be very careful with your plan. You need to have a 2 year plan. People think that it's not a serious matter, but it is more than serious. You need to have a 2 year plan that I'll start here, I'll do this next, I'll do this next. When the pressure will come, I'll do this, and that you can find out online. I can even tell you in a very detailed session. But what happens is that people either do not have a plan or do not have the finances to sustain that business. And that's where they start failing, and then they get nervous, and then they give up. So I just want to say you never give up. Keep struggling, keep doing whatever is on your mind, and that's the only way to succeed. There's another thing that I just want to add. You just mentioned it, is the template. Aptitude. Like, what is your aptitude? So a lot of people, when I was growing up, my father wanted me to just do an MBA. And then when I was doing my MBA, he said, "You know what? This programming business is getting more of an interest in the world. So why don't you become a programmer?" So then after I had done my MBA, I started taking courses in programming. So I learned programming. Then I finally got a job in the US as a programmer. And after like 2, 3 years, I realized that people who started with me were doing much better than I was doing. And I started looking around there, why am I not doing good? Why the hell am I failing into this thing? I am an educated man. I've done my master's. Now the pressure is very high on you. Until I stumbled upon the idea that I must do what I'm born to do. And that is your aptitude. Everyone is born with an aptitude. So let's say you're born to your parents. So your parents have an aptitude. Your mother has one aptitude, your father has another aptitude. You are a mix of their aptitude. You could probably be one of them, or you could be a mix of them, or something like
So,
that.
but aptitude is one thing. Then another thing comes is the goal and how to achieve that goal, the plan and goal. So, what do you say on that? Because most of us may have correct aptitudes, but we are unable to select our goals and then to achieve those goals. What to do for achieving the goal?
See, the goals are very important, but they have to be realistic. So, if, for example, let's say that you are a YouTuber, because that's something these days, so you need to know how many viewers I must have before I succeed, right? Again, for a non-shop, you need to know how many customers I must have before start making a profit, right? If you don't do that maths, then you're in trouble somewhere, right? If you just want to have the passion that I want to be the biggest non-seller in town or in the world or in Pakistan, and you don't have a plan to it, like how many I want to sell every day, what is my cost, of having the rent of the shop, the salaries of the employees, whoever is working, the electricity, the water, the ingredients to make that atta and all that, right? If you do not calculate that, if you do not know what your budget is, how will you reach a target? So let's say that your target is to make 1 million rupees a month, right? Or 100,000 rupees a month. Okay. So then you need to know that to make 100,000 rupees, how many rotis I must sell, right? So if it's like 100 rotis a day, then you calculate how much it will cost to make 100 rotis a day,
Okay.
right? So when your costing is correct, you can reach a target, and that's how you set a goal. But
Okay.
you always do it backward. Like first you need to set a target, then you start going how to reach that target, what requires to reach that target.
Very nice. So, what you mean to say is that aptitude is one thing, and then if you have the right kind of aptitude for some business, then you need to make these goals and set up your targets. Coming
Definitely,
back
definitely.
to the problems of the young entrepreneurs, because what I have been interacting with various young entrepreneurs, and I found them, although they're doing good in business, like but in accounting and in keeping up the finances, they are not
Right,
good.
right.
And but if they keep more staff, then it means that less profits. So how do you define that today's entrepreneur, what all ingredients he or she should have? Like he should be a good accountant also, he should be a good manager also, he should be a good finance keeper also. So
Okay, okay.
all these things should be in one person only, then he or she can become an entrepreneur.
See, this is very important, and especially for our country, our people, because I've lived in the US, I've lived in Dubai. What I found out over here is that people do not want to work. They, in their minds, are the kings of a business which has not even started yet, right? So they're like, okay, I need an accountant, I need five chefs, I need a cleaner, I need blah blah blah. So they add up their expenses without starting to make any money. What I suggest is that, and this there is another thing in us, like
But
we're.
when is the time that one should know that now I have to keep more people, I have to keep less people?
Yeah, I was coming there. Yeah. So what I see is that a lot of people are extremely lazy in our system. Like, you know what, they're, oh yaar bas kal kar lenge, oh abhi dekh lenge. That attitude is a loser's attitude. You must leave that behind. When you're starting a business, you must be up and running. I know that Mr. Khalid wakes up at 6 a.m. every day. And that is the routine for any successful businessman. If you're waking up at 12 or 2 and thinking that the others will run my business, that's number one. And I'm mentioning that because that is a problem in our part of the world. The second thing, as you just asked me, that what was the question again? Sorry.
No, I was saying that when is the time that one
Yeah, yeah,
entrepreneur
yeah, yeah.
has to decide that now it's time for expansion?
Right, right. So basically, you should start doing a lot of that work yourself. When there is no sales or money coming in, you need to work extra hard, work efficient, and then first of all, the money will start coming in. Because when your expenses are lower, the chances of a profit is very high. But when expenses are very high, you might keep doing a very good business for 2 years, and you will understand that, you know what, it's not working out. You need to know the balance of your sales versus your cost.
So coming
That
back,
is important
okay,
to figure that out. Yeah.
coming to the real estate industry, since you belong to the real estate industry and you are into construction also, I'll specifically talk about the real estate industry because we find a lot of young people who are very well educated coming to the real estate industry thinking that it's a quick money thing. Do you really think that being in real estate, selling property is a way of making quick money?
So yeah, I would say that yes, it is. Uh, the richest people in the world are in the real estate business. So that's one thing. But that does not mean that everybody will succeed. Because there is a lot of hard work. There is a lot of planning because now the real estate business has become like a corporate setup. Before, like 5, 10 years ago, this was more of a
Lower end work,
lower
yes.
end work for whoever was a property agent. Property agent was not taken seriously. But just want to tell you a little bit more about myself. In 2016, I started the first social media marketing in this Islamabad Rawalpindi region, and we became the number one marketing company for a period of 3 years until we decided to change our directions because everybody jumped in. So another problem in our country is that if you do well, everybody
No,
wants to
but that's
do the
obvious
same
that if you'll
business.
do well, people will follow you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because
No, but not everybody should
we don't
follow you.
have so many success
Yeah.
examples. So if you are a success example, then people, of course, are going to follow you.
Exactly, yeah. So yeah, everybody started following me, copying my style, and it works. Why not? There is nothing wrong with following someone and doing a similar type of business. So, but as you said, that is it something? Is it easy money? No, it's not easy money. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of competition out there. You have to be ahead in the game nowadays. For you to succeed, you need to be an excellent salesman. And previously, a good salesman would sell something like a property a month or two. But nowadays, if you're not able to sell in bulk, like 50 properties a month or so, and that for that we use social media, for that we use YouTube, for that we use Instagram and all that. Things have changed. And I train my people, my employees, to make 1 million rupees a month minimum. That's my target for anybody who works for me. So if that's their target, imagine how much money I'm making. So I have like 50 salespeople for me. And I focus on them that if they do not make that kind of money in 3 months, I let them go.
So what I've gathered out of your talk is that any business can be money-making business provided you do good planning in it and provided you put your complete hard work in it. It's
And
not that
financial planning
and
and
financial planning
availability of
also.
the funds for a period of at least 2 years before you exhaust yourself.
So, but that notion that if you come into a certain business and you'll get overnight rich is not good, not
Not
right,
possible. You
not
might get
possible.
rich overnight, but then you might lose all the money also overnight.
Yeah,
You know.
this is so. Since you are in the construction business also, and I've been following your plans, and I've been seeing that for making one building, you take a lot of time to plan and think and everything. So, how important? Because we in Pakistan generally we
Yeah, yeah.
observe that if there is a good location, you just make a building and you think it will sell off.
It will sell.
So,
Yeah, yeah.
except for the location and everything else, how do you find how do you plan in the construction industry for so many months and months? What do you plan?
So there is a lot of planning. Right now, I'm very happy about is in the last 5 to 7 years, I've seen some very good construction now in Pakistan as well. And people are making excellent buildings, excellent houses. The only thing that was missing before was the maintenance. Nobody was maintaining their
Yes,
own.
because you make a building, you sell it,
Yeah, yeah.
and you have no liability,
And you go
and
home and
then
sleep and you don't care
yeah,
about
and
it
then
anymore. Yeah.
after 10 years, the building gets deteriorated.
Even if there was a lift in there, it's not working anymore.
Yeah,
And there
that used to
is,
happen, but now we have
yeah.
building maintenance, and
Yeah,
that
yeah.
has become part of the.
So now the construction requires you to have a maintenance company as well. That has finally come to Pakistan, thank God. And for us, because we are doing a new project in Silver City. The project's name is Silver City Business Square. So we are making 50 commercial buildings over there. What we are doing different is that we are making them green, which is eco-friendly, and we're also putting solar power into it, so that we'll have a fully uh, solar electric power buildings, and it will be eco-friendly, which is green and sustainable, which is a fairly new concept even in the world, but it has been around for the last 5 6 years, and it is also coming to Pakistan. On top of that, we're trying to make sure that our construction is top quality, and also that we sell it's kind of a theme. We're selling a theme. So, for example, our theme is to have a food court and electronics market side by side. So, having a theme and top quality construction and adding new features to the building is very important.
Very good. Dear listeners, today we have Mr. Faisal Sheikh, who's an entrepreneur, who's into real estate business and a builder also with us, and he's a motivational speaker also, and you can search for his name on
So
YouTube.
on YouTube is
He is a very famous, I would say, motivational speaker by the name of Faisal Ka Faisla, and very soon we will be also requesting him to do these motivational talks for the youth on our very own Planet FM 87.6.
looking forward.
So Mr. Faisal, thank you very much for being with us
And
over here.
before we go, I just want to add one thing.
Yeah.
So the name of my real estate company is Jumeirah World Marketing. You can look it up on Facebook, Instagram, everywhere. And the
Yes,
name of my
surely
show
we'll do
is
that. Faisal
Faisal
Ka
Ka
Faisla.
Faisla.
And very soon you will find Mr. Faisal doing a youth motivational program on 87.6 also. So thank you very much, Mr. Faisal.
Thank you,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Khalid.
Thank you.
It was a pleasure.